going on, everyone? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you could just call me Juice, because that is my nickname. Listen, Jerry Jones, I'm holding you accountable. Jerry Jones, I'm warning you. Do not, and I repeat, do not sign Dak Prescott, aka Dak Bortles. And yes, I'm calling Dak Prescott at times in this video Dak Bortles, because he doesn't deserve, in my opinion, to be called Dak Prescott anymore after missing out on the playoffs and letting the Eagles with a bunch of practice squad players win this division while he had arguably a top 10 roster in football. Okay, Dak Prescott, aka Dak Bortles, has lost some stripes. Okay, Dak Prescott's not worth a mega contract. He's not worth $35+ million per year. I would be okay signing Dak Prescott to $30 million per year potentially, but that'd be the max. I would sign Dak Prescott to anywhere from 28 to 27, maybe $30 million. Past that, I'm done. Okay, so if Dak Prescott wants more than that, I franchise tag him, and I would do that en route to trying to find the next great quarterback in the draft. I firmly believe the Dallas Cowboys can upgrade at quarterback through the draft. And I believe what they need to do is what the Kansas City Chiefs did a couple years ago with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. Okay, they went out. They had Alex Smith, who won them 12 games the previous year. He's a very good starting quarterback. Not a whole lot of flaws in his game, but there was a ceiling with Alex Smith. And let me tell you something right now. There's a ceiling with Dak Prescott as your quarterback, because right now, Dak Prescott is anywhere from, I would say, the 12th best quarterback to the 15th best quarterback, maybe top 10 if you want to argue. But either way, Dak Prescott's not this elite quarterback. He's not worth a blank check, okay? He's just not. Even if you want to say he's a top 10 quarterback, I still think he slightly doesn't meet the criteria. What the Chiefs realized was they had a ceiling with Alex Smith as their quarterback. What I think Cowboys fans are failing to realize is there's a ceiling with Dak Prescott as your quarterback. He's very good, but I don't know if he'll ever take you over the top. So, look, I'm going to be fair to Dak Prescott in this video a little bit later, but I would draft a Jordan Love this year if I can. I would draft a Justin Herbert this year if I can. Even if I had to trade up to get one of those players. You mean to tell me the Kansas City Chiefs regret trading up for Patrick Mahomes? I don't think so. You mean to tell me the Houston Texans don't regret trading up for Deshaun Watson? I don't think so. Okay? You mean to tell me the Philadelphia Eagles don't regret trading up for Carson Wentz? I don't think so. And some of you Cowboys fans might be saying, we need a whole lot of draft capital to trade up to get an elite quarterback. And it does help, but if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs trade that they made to go up and snag Patrick Mahomes in the top 10, okay? They traded the 27th overall pick, a 3rd rounder, and a 2018 first rounder. Listen, I think the Dallas Cowboys are a very talented team, and I think that Mike McCarthy is a very good head coach. I think Dak Prescott is probably going to have a solid season this year. It's not out of the question that the Cowboys can win 10 or 11 or 12 games next year if they reach their full potential. So I can see the Cowboys next year potentially having something like the 26th, 25th, 27th overall pick, okay? But you saw right here, the Chiefs were able to trade the 27th overall pick and then just threw in another first rounder and a 3rd rounder, and boom, you're in the top 10. So I don't think trading up is going to be that much of a problem if you need to. I think that the Dallas Cowboys either this year or next year need to draft another quarterback, okay? And before you start type saying, you can't draft another quarterback, they could be a bust. They may never reach Dak Prescott's level of productivity. And while that may be fair, I'm going to throw this at you, okay? Let's take a look at some of the notable quarterbacks recently drafted the last 3 seasons. And if you look at 2017, 2018, 2019, virtually all these quarterbacks have worked, okay? At least most of the first round quarterbacks. There's been some steals. You know, Drew Lock and Gardner Minshew, you could say, are some steals, okay? But all the rest of these quarterbacks that I'm going to show on the screen, they're all first round quarterbacks outside of those quarterbacks I just mentioned. And outside Dwayne Haskins, Josh Rosen, and Mitch Trubisky, there's not a whole lot of question marks. All these quarterbacks are working. All these quarterbacks are starting level quarterbacks at the least, and some of them have blossomed into quarterbacks that we look at as potential superstars and quarterbacks that can be really, really good. And if we just look at, you know, the 3 that I have questions about, you know, Dwayne Haskins, Josh Rosen, and Mitch Trubisky still won a division, okay? He's won a division in the past, so he can't be that bad. Josh Rosen, I understand he might be a bust, but there's still some talent there. I just think he's a product of a bad situation. And Dwayne Haskins had his struggles, but if you look at the last couple of games he played his rookie year, he showed a lot of great flashes. So if we look at Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Gardner Minshew, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and heck, if I throw in 2016, you got Jared Goff, who's been to a Super Bowl. You got Carson Wentz, who's shown he can play at an MVP level. And of course, Dak Prescott, who I like, but I wouldn't pay a whole lot of money, as I'm talking about right now. All these first-round NFL quarterbacks are working. They're at least starting level quarterbacks, and you might mess around and get you a pretty good Pro Bowl level or MVP caliber quarterback in the first round. So I would argue trading up in the first round to go snag a quarterback or drafting a quarterback in the first round to replace Dak Prescott is not that risky. A lot of quarterbacks can do what Dak Prescott has done if they have some level of talent, okay? Let's not forget, the Dallas Cowboys are one of the top 5 offensive lines in football. They have one of the best wide receiver corps. They have one of the best running backs in the NFL. They have very good above average tight ends, an above average defense. They have very good personnel. Most quarterbacks can succeed in Dallas. And a lot of quarterbacks, I can argue, this past season would have done better than 8-8, okay? I guarantee you that if you put Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson on the Cowboys this past season, or even a Lamar Jackson potentially, this team automatically could have been an instant Super Bowl contender. Okay, I understand Jason Garrett has flaws, but at least get me to the playoffs, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott couldn't even get me to the playoffs this past year. Dak Prescott, we've seen him in the past without Ezekiel Elliott. He hasn't looked that great. The numbers go down. The team's record goes down. We've seen him in the past with not great wide receivers at his disposal. His numbers go down. The wins go down. The drop-off is significant. And you can say, well, it's not fair. He needs good personnel around him. Okay, that's fine. But guess what? When you're paying your quarterback a bunch of money via a mega contract, you're not always going to have the money to surround him with elite level talent all the time. He's going to have to sometimes turn water into wine. He's going to have to make these wide receivers look better. He's going to have to make these running backs look better. He's going to have to make your defense look better. I'm not sure Dak Prescott is cut enough to where I can say, hey, we may miss a couple wide receivers. Go take me there, Dak Prescott. Go carry the team. Our offensive line is banged up. Go carry the team. I haven't seen that from Dak Prescott. In the sample size in which he's had a chance to prove me wrong, he hasn't done it. This year, with all that talent, he couldn't score a touchdown in the game that mattered the most versus the Philadelphia Eagles. In a game for the division on the road versus the Philadelphia Eagles, who were playing with practice squad players, Dak Prescott could not even score a touchdown. A lot of people say, well, it was his shoulder. Well, guess what? If you would have beaten Mitch Trubisky or Sam Darnold or Josh Allen a couple weeks earlier, you wouldn't even have been in a situation to where you had to absolutely win that game to get into the playoffs, okay? So miss me with that, Cowboys fans. Miss me with that. Now, here's where I'm going to actually be fair to Dak Prescott, okay? Because the last 4 seasons, Dak Prescott's got 40 wins, okay? That's pretty good. He's won the division twice. He's beaten Russell Wilson in a playoff game. That's great. He's won the division a couple times. Like I said, he's not a terrible quarterback, okay? And we've seen the last 2 seasons, Jimmy Garoppolo and Jared Goff go to Super Bowls. The gap between Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo is not that wide. I would argue that Jared Goff is definitely better than Dak Prescott, but I can't definitively say that Jimmy Garoppolo is so much better than Dak Prescott. Even the gap between Jared Goff and Dak Prescott's not that big. So we've seen Dak Prescott level quarterbacks go to Super Bowls. But you want to know why that happened? Because the team was stacked and they had a great head coach. Jared Goff had Sean McVay. Jimmy Garoppolo's got Kyle Shanahan. And when I look at Dak Prescott, he's got Jason Garrett. So I'm going to be fair to Dak Prescott and say, okay, you didn't get it done this year, Dak Prescott. Let's see what you do next year with Mike McCarthy. I'm going to franchise tag you. And if you overperform this year, if you knock my socks off, then I will consider giving you that max contract. Because, listen, I've said in the past, you need a great elite quarterback and an elite coach to win a Super Bowl, or you need one or the other. Example, Joe Flacco is not an elite quarterback. Neither is Nick Foles. But they got Super Bowl rings because they had elite coaches in Doug Peterson and John Harbaugh, Super Bowl winning head coaches, okay? We look at this past year, okay? Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. They're both elite at what they do. Andy Reid, elite coach. Patrick Mahomes, elite quarterback. We've seen Peyton Manning drag 4 different head coaches to Super Bowls. So while the head coach might not be an A+, they might be a B or a B-. Peyton Manning was an A+ level quarterback. He got you to 4 Super Bowls with not great coaching. So I think Dak Prescott falls in the category of he needs a better coach. So you're bringing Mike McCarthy this year. There's no more excuses. Let's see what Dak Prescott does this year, okay? But just because Dak Prescott's put up some good numbers and some good statistics, I'm not going to give him a max contract. I need to see more. I think it's fair to evaluate Dak Prescott after this upcoming season to see if he makes the playoffs, to see if he wins a bunch of games, for me to justify giving him a max contract. But as of right now, I cannot do that. So again, I think it's completely fair. I think that this year, you potentially can look to draft a Justin Herbert or Jordan Love if they fall to you. If you're in a spot to where you could trade to get them, please do it. I think it will be the ideal situation for one of these quarterbacks that the Cowboys, if they were to draft one, to sit for a year behind Dak Prescott. They're more than likely going to have to settle for Jordan Love or Justin Herbert, which is fine because both those quarterbacks are what you look for in today's NFL. You know, big time arm, can move around, make all the throws off schedule, can, roll outside the pocket. Big time athletic kids coming out of college, okay? Jordan Love and Justin Herbert have all the tools to be elite NFL quarterbacks. They're what you look for in today's NFL. So selling for them is fine, okay? And they can only be so bad behind the Cowboys offensive line and handing the football off to Ezekiel Elliott and throwing to the Cowboys wide receivers, okay? And they have an above average defense to support them. I think that it's the ideal situation for the Cowboys to sit Jordan Love or Justin Herbert for a year behind Dak Prescott and unleash them the very next year, just like the Kansas City Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes when he took over for Alex Smith. If the Dallas Cowboys sign Dak Prescott to a long-term deal, what they will be telling me is that they're okay just being good enough. Because I firmly believe with Dak Prescott, you can make the playoffs pretty much almost every single year if you have a lot of talent. You can win a playoff game or two. But will you ever get to a Super Bowl? I'm not so sure. And I think Mike McCarthy is a solid head coach, but I think that his success in Green Bay was more so due to Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, more so than his coaching. I think it was a product of those quarterbacks. I'm just saying, I don't think he's Andy Reid. I don't think he's Sean Payton. I don't see him being Bill Belichick. He's not this creative, great head coach. He's a very solid head coach, but I just don't see him doing anything special as a head coach either. So again, if the Cowboys re-sign Dak Prescott, which I think they actually will, I do not see a situation in which Jerry Jones moves on from Dak Prescott. I think he's going to swallow what is coming for him. The Cowboys already have messed up because they did not sign Dak Prescott to a long-term deal a long time ago. They should have been completed that contract. They should have been signed Dak Prescott to a long-term deal. They waited way too long. And as a result, the Eagles and the Rams one-upped them. They signed Jared Goff and Carson Wentz to big-time contracts. Now the Cowboys have to match that. So I think Jerry Jones is by the throat. And the only way Jerry Jones can save himself is to draft another quarterback and start over. Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. You got a whole lot more back for him than you expected. If I'm Jerry Jones, I look at it and say, hey, Dak Prescott, you were great for my franchise. You were great for my team. But I see a ceiling with you. We need to move on because we're looking to be great, not just good. If the Dallas Cowboys want to prolong their Super Bowl window and they want to be a great elite team for years and years to come, they need to move on from Dak Prescott and draft another quarterback. I would seriously trade up to try to get Jordan Love or Justin Herbert this year if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, or draft another quarterback next year. Franchise tagging Dak Prescott is the best move if the Cowboys want to be Super Bowl contenders for years and years to come. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? Or potentially if it doesn't, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out, just help me grow as a broadcaster. Help me learn. Get other people hip to this channel. Just share this channel with all your friends. Share this channel on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Instagram. All that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Instagram. All that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God blessed day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.